From the writers of Parenthood and Life as We Know It comes It's Not Like That, a new family drama about starting over and second chances. Scott Foley stars as Malcolm, a recently widowed pastor and dad of 3. And Aaron Hayes is Lori, newly divorced with 2 teens. Their families used to do everything together. Now they're navigating single parenthood and maybe something more. Watch It's Not Like That. All episodes streaming May 15th on Prime Video.
Welcome to a special series of Art Pays Me interviews with the winners of the 2025 Creative Nova Scotia Awards. Presented by Arts Nova Scotia and the Creative Nova Scotia Leadership Council, these awards celebrate artistic excellence across McMahon. Award categories are as follows: Creative Community Impact, Prix Grand-Pré, Established Artist, Emerging Artist, Black Artist, Indigenous Artist, and finally, the Portia White Prize, that is given to a person who has made outstanding and significant contributions to Nova Scotia's creative community over a sustained career. Much like the incredible woman that the award is named after. The winner will also choose a protege, an emerging artist or cultural organization that will also receive funding. Collectively, the awards are worth $75,000. This series would not be possible without the fantastic production work of Heist and Kiki Beats.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good, good. So before we start, I have to ask you a set of questions that we ask everyone. What's your name? What are your pronouns? What is your creative discipline? And where are you currently based?
My name's Nicola Miller. My pronouns are she, her. I'm currently based in Chester Basin. And my artistic discipline is saxophone, jazz, free improvisation, and composition.
Okay, Lisa Simpson.
Yeah.
Is there a person, place, or event that drew you to saxophone or music in general?
So I started saxophone in grade 6, mostly just because I didn't want to be like everybody else, and everybody else in the class was playing the flute or the clarinet.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be different. And always really loved jazz, so played that kind of all through high school and then studied jazz, but more along the traditional lines. And then I studied a master's in Berlin, and when I was there, I got really interested in the free improvisation scene. And I studied with a man named Frank Grakowski, who was hugely important to me, a wonderful mentor, and really helped steer me in the direction of free improvisation, making weird sounds on the saxophone. And the scene in Berlin for that kind of music is just incredible. So I would say, yeah.
Was it scary to let go of the control of, I don't know, just improvisation in that way?
For me, that was the less scary part. I have struggled with performance anxiety quite a lot. So I used to have, panic attacks on stage. And again, Frank really helped me to move past that. And in the free improvisation sense, it was kind of like, as long as you're listening and you're being true to yourself and thinking compositionally, it works. So, yeah. And more things are accepted that are not typically beautiful or.
Yeah. So speaking of that, then, is there like an artistic project of yours in particular, or a musical project that sort of stands out to you?
Of my own? Yeah. So actually, my recent album is with my band Living Things, and Frank also is in that band. So that was a real treat to have him come and be part of that. And it also has a Nova Scotia bassist, Nicholas D'Amato, who I've worked with a lot and is also very important to me. So it was great to include him on that project.
Nice.
And then 2 musicians from Toronto who I've always loved their playing. And so to have them part of the project was incredible. Yeah, we just recorded our 2nd album. So hopefully the project keeps going.
So where do you find your inspiration from? Like, where do the seeds of your ideas start?
I consider my approach to composition as cellular. So it's about starting from the smallest structural unit, which is what the Living Things project was based on. And in that case, it was based on starting from cells that were derived from living things. So I live in Chester Basin where there's a lot of wildlife and we're right close to the ocean. So I would just go for walks and see something or hear something that would inspire the pieces. So once it was some seagulls fighting, and I just took a field recording of it and slowed it down and transcribed it basically, and then put it in my own form. Another time it was these bufflehead ducks that come in the wintertime and feed.
Yeah.
And they travel slowly in a group, but who is in front and behind shifts continually. And then one duck will dive under, and then shortly after the rest will dive under. So I made a piece. The pitches and the rhythms were derived from the groupings of ducks that I saw. And then we all played a melody in unison, but we could speed up and slow down ahead of each other or behind of each other. And then at any point, one player could cue an improvisation by essentially being this duck that dove under. And then we would go into an improvisation based on texture and sounds, not pitch.
Never heard anything like that from the musical side of things. That's fascinating, actually. Must have been a lot of fun.
Bufflehead ducks are really fascinating birds.
So you weren't particularly interested in ducks at that point, but you just became interested in them based on
Yeah, just watching them and trying to think about what I could use them, watching them for in my composition. Yeah.
Right. So you mentioned being based in Chester Basin. Is there a particular significance or importance for like being a Nova Scotia artist for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic to get all of the inspiration from the wildlife that's around, and also the solitude to have time. Like time is really important for me.
Yeah.
When I'm composing and practicing.
Yeah.
And having so much solitude definitely helps with that. Yeah. Sometimes it's a struggle because, on our road, it's not like there are any other musicians around, but Halifax has such a great scene. So
Right.
yeah.
So you sort of answered this question already, but outside of the things you need for like your instruments and things like that in your space, I'm gonna assume it's nature that you need.
Not necessarily. I mean, I have used that, and I like that. The last album that we just recorded that will be released next year, I suppose, is all based on speech. So recordings, I was mentioning to you earlier, we're here at Ramblers, and I had a recording of a gig once that I left the recorder on.
Yeah.
And accidentally recorded a conversation some people were having. So I used that, transcribed it for one of the pieces on the upcoming album that's called Drummers Are Bad. And it's these women talking about dating drummers. So I've just transcribed the rhythms and the pitches. And
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So sorry, but that doesn't answer the question though.
No, it kind of does actually.
Okay.
Because it feels like the thing that you need, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like you just need, you're an observer. There's something in your environment, whatever that is, you're like, bang, that's
Maybe,
it.
yeah, something to focus on. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So this is final question. I'm a painter, and a lot of times actually the work that I use, it's kind of similar. Like my process is very similar. I observe the world around me, and those are the things that I'm like, boom, I'm going to paint something along those lines, I guess. How much would you say your emotional state impacts the music that you're coming up with?
I can't, if I'm not in a good emotional state, I'm not very good at composing or at sitting with it. So I suppose I've had to, again, I mentioned having performance anxiety. So I've had to go through certain periods where I have to be more forgiving with myself, and just because I can't write and compose in the moment, or I'm not happy with my practicing, it's not a finite judgment on my abilities or on my worth. So I would suppose I do have to be in a fairly good emotional state to be productive or to work. But it also practicing, especially, and composing, I find really help me regulate myself emotionally. And without it's much more difficult. It's a bit of a meditational process where I just play and think purely about what the thing is that I'm doing, and it helps clear the clutter.
Right. Just get to it and sort of
Yeah.
that sort of yeah.
Yeah. Is this tone full? Only think about that. Yeah.
Love it. Well, congratulations on your award, and it was a pleasure getting to know more about you and your process.
Thank you. Thank you for talking to me.
Thank you for listening to Art Pays Me. Hit me up on socials at Art Pays Me pretty much everywhere. And let me know what you think. I love connecting with listeners. If you're an artist looking for clothes that celebrate who we are as professional creative people, check out artpaysme.com. And don't forget, visit artsns.ca for more information about the Creative Nova Scotia Awards. Peace.
From the writers of Parenthood and Life as We Know It comes It's Not Like That, a new family drama about starting over and second chances. Scott Foley stars as Malcolm, a recently widowed pastor and dad of 3. And Erin Hayes is Lori, newly divorced with 2 teens. Their families used to do everything together. Now they're navigating single parenthood and maybe something more. Watch It's Not Like That. All episodes streaming May 15th on Prime Video.